Hello, welcome to week 9, Kindergarten Heroes, and our theme of the week is Heroes Work Hard, and our sub-theme is water. So let's take a look at what's in our folders. For our teacher folder, on the left-hand side for guides, we have nothing new. It's the same thing. The activities at a glance, the character connection, the various definitions and significance of the character trait of working hard. We've got the instructional word list for the short I's for the week, and then we have the answer keys for the assessments, and then of course the character quest map badges, which I've just cut this out and put this into my character quest map, and I've updated it now up through week 8. Here we go. So let's see what our posters are. So of course we have, as always, our Heroes Work Hard poster, and we have our hero poster. So the hero of the week is Olivia Lum, and she had a company that created water treatment plants all over the world. And because of her work, millions of gallons of water is being cleaned every day for people to use, and it has made the world better for people with that water. Now, Olivia's company, it is no longer in business because it went under because it did a project that was too big for it. Of course, this made me wonder whether we should keep this hero, and I decided to keep her because, number one, none of our heroes are perfect. Number two, she has made a significant contribution to the world with the things that she's made. And number three, I think it's also a cautionary tale of when it comes to working hard. We don't want to work so hard or that we just lose focus and make unwise choices, and in this case, get in over your head on a project that's too big. And so when I think of working hard, I always come back to the rubber band analogy. So when you've got a rubber band that's just sitting here, not stretched, just kind of sitting here, the word that comes to mind to me is just flabby. It's just, there's nothing really going on. There's no power here. There's just whatever kind of gifts are just kind of languishing. But if you stretch just a little bit, well, theoretically, you can move. I'm not doing it that hard because, oops, that even went the wrong way. But I think you get the idea. When you stretch, you have the power to move forward that you didn't have before when you're just kind of not working hard and actually not being a little bit uncomfortable. So we want to be a little bit uncomfortable so that we've got some power to move forward. But we don't want to be so uncomfortable and working so hard that we're just stretched to the max. We're losing peace, and in worst case scenario, we actually just snap and just get so stressed out. And even, that's an unhealthy place to be. So we've got to find that middle ground, that tension that helps us move forward, but doesn't break us. So needless to say, we decided to keep Olivia, and she was in back in 2016 when I made the list of who the heroes were going to be, and that was before that happened. So our thought of the week is hard work is progress, not perfection. We've got our short I's, and then all of the just general posters that we always have, the wise decisions, stepping through problems, and now our calm down, which have already been introduced. So those are the posters of the week. We also have our trouble spot and escape route posters, and I'll show that later. Okay, so that's what's in our teacher folder. Let's take a look at what's on the docket for Monday. So Monday you have this bio of Olivia Lum. It's an interesting story. She grew up in poverty. She grew up in she had poverty of things. She lived in a shack. She didn't have running water. She didn't have electricity, but she was very rich in love. She was very loved by a woman who had adopted her because Olivia was abandoned at birth at a hospital. And despite all of that, she worked very hard from a very early age and ended up just making an enormous company and building a lot of water treatment plants in her life. So then we've got here the short I words, beginning and middle. So you're introducing the short I sound, and you can use that short I poster. You can also introduce with your little one the 3 writing prompts and then put that into their writing center for them to select which writing prompt they want to do each day. And then also make sure to put the blank books in so that your little one, if he or she prefers to make their own stories, that they can do that. For math, we have what comes next. We're looking at numbers 11 through 20 this week, and we have rain aplenty, numbers to 20. And then we're looking at Singapore for our social studies. And then, of course, you can introduce the sight words of the week. We have our latest sight word addition to our sight word book, and these are the sight words. And make sure, of course, to do all the additional suggestions in here. Your instructional schedules have all kinds of additional suggestions on what to do for the sight words every week, and also how to introduce the phonics and math. So that's Monday in your student daily folder. So Tuesday through Friday is all here, created and in these little packets for you to slip into your teacher or your students folder every day. So Tuesday you're going to do the chart like you always do on Tuesday of the character trait. Then you have the work hard character scenarios. I think these are a really good thing to look at lunch or dinner, or just during the day, nice to talk about and have a conversation about the character trait. For phonics, you're going to read the Tiny Tim story, and then you're also going to look at the flashcards, which you can print out like this. Now, I've just added to this ring the short I flashcards. I also still have the E from last week and the A from, oops, we have blank cards in case you want it, the A from the week before, but they're all here. So I've just added it to this big ring because I thought we could have all of the short bell sounds on a ring. And you'll have this in this, which we're going to work on Wednesday. So you've got that. And then for math, you've got this count and catalog microscopic picture where you're going to be counting and cataloging the various pollution items in the water. And then you have this math number plumber worksheet. And then for people and places, you're going to look at Singapore again, and specifically the Botanical Garden in Singapore. Fun, fun, fun. For Wednesday, for SEL, you're going to take a look at our hero trouble spot, which is the weeds of worry. And you're going to use well, you're first of all going to make sure you read the additional context for how this particular trouble spot affected our hero of the week. And we have that written here. And then you can also talk through it with, well, actually I don't know where it is, but we have a sheet that shows you how to talk through this. You can read it, look over the self-talk, and also in the digital activities list in our video playlist, there's a video of a song about worry, which I think is very helpful. So definitely check that out. So that's Wednesday SEO. Now for math, for language, you can build words. Now you can either do this with our boom card deck, which you started actually on Tuesday, or you could do it manually. So manually, what you would do is you would get a few of these words, you would build the words with our mats and with these letters. And just once again, since I've already reviewed this, there are multiple mats here. So if your little one's ready to move on to maybe some blends, feel free, go ahead and give him or her a harder work mat and see like this. So many choices. You can stick this in a write and wipe sleeve like I have, and then use these letters to build the word. Don't give them all the letters. I would suggest not all, and just give them several based on the words that you give them, and then they will build the word, and then they can write the word with their marker. So we've got all of this together for phonics. Okay, for math, for Wednesday, we've got water, freshwater, number dive, 11 to 15, and then 16 through 20. So they're getting some handwriting practice, some spelling practice, and identifying and matching. For science, they're going to look at the Great Pacific Garbage Patch and how it affects the oceans. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is this enormous pile of plastic in the Pacific Ocean that's literally the size of France. It's insane. So, but there's some people that are working very hard to fix that problem, and you'll learn about that. So for Thursday, you're going to take a look at this vocabulary word, short I. Well, Thursday also for SEO, before I do that, you're going to look at this one here called Cross the Muddy Puddles, and it's called I Can Accept the Mess and Splash On Through. Now, when I say accept the mess, we don't accept it staying messy, but we, if we're in a situation that is messy, we're not going to allow that to paralyze us. We're still going to splash on through and step through these step by step, we're going to get through that problem. And there's here this activity that you can do for Cross the Muddy Puddles, that you're going to look more at this nonprofit called the Ocean Cleanup. It was founded by a teenager, who at the time he was a teenager, and it's cleaning up the oceans. And there's this video about, first an overview, really short, about a minute, and then another video showing about how they engineered a solution to it, but the solution ended up not working because there was something they didn't expect. And it talks about how he calls that problem, and he calls it an unscheduled learning opportunity. So he doesn't call it a problem, it's an unscheduled learning opportunity. And just, you can watch him as he deals with that problem very calmly. I think he models dealing with the problem very calmly, and how they engineered a solution to that problem. And I think this would be a really good thing for your little one to see how a young person is solving some problems, big problems, and not getting, sort of unflappable even when there are problems in the solution that they're trying to make. And anyway, they ended up working through that problem. So you can take a look at that to get this through, and there's some additional detail on the bottom there. Okay, so for phonics, you're going to look at vocabulary words, short I, and do the matching. You have the reader, which you're going to cut out and put together, which you've already talked about how to put that together. Math, you've got water spots and math number discovery, 11 to 15, 16 to 20. And then for science, you're going to look at water pollution and separate it based on natural causes and man-made causes. So there's a video there in your video playlist. And then for Friday, you're going to do this Getting to Know Olivia Lum and talk about working hard. And your little one's going to tell you how can you tell that you're making progress and what they're working hard on. And you'll write that in for them. For handwriting, work on the letter H. Sight words, you'll finish the review, and then definitely continue to work on those sight words activities that are in the instructional schedules, because there's a suggestion for every day. And then we've got the assessments for phonics and math based on what we're doing this week. And then we have these math mats, which you can put in you can either laminate them or you can put them in a write and wipe, just reusable sleeve, and have your little one practice their writing and spelling of the words, and also putting manipulatives into the tennis frame. So we have that for 11 all the way to 20. For extra activities, just wanted to say continue working on your calming strategies. So last week we did count back. The week before that we did belly breathe. This week you can look at talk it out and practice this calming strategy. You also can intersperse several different phonics worksheets throughout the week. And then there's also this play skillfully activity where you pretend that you are reporting on some water issues. And so you're kind of like a reporter. There's all kinds of information. And this page here, I thought you could add to your theme board if you wanted. It's some solutions of how we deal with water problems. I think drip irrigation is such an important solution. It helps to give water to the plants that are being grown at farms in a very direct way, one drip at a time. And that reduces the amount of water that goes to the plants by a huge amount, because a lot of times they're just drenched and most of that just evaporates. But the problem with drip irrigation is it does cost quite a bit to implement it and maintain it, but there are new solutions coming out now that have reduced that and make it really viable, and this really has the potential to save the most water, because the most water used on the planet is for agriculture. It's not for individual households. So if we can somehow, people with their engineering smarts can figure out ways to make this work, that would be awesome. And anyway, there are some other things as well. So I hope you enjoy week 9 and our theme of water. And I think it's a really fun and relevant theme, considering how water is becoming more and more scarce as the years go by in our world. But I'm super excited for you to enjoy this week. Remember, we want to work hard, so we're stretching, but we don't want to work so hard that we snap and just get too stressed out, because that's just not healthy. And remember that problems or unscheduled learning opportunities. We can learn through them, and we can stay calm through the process of learning through those problems and work on coming up with solutions. And your little ones are capable of that. And so are you as you help them through their problems and their learning and growth. Well, let us know if you have any questions at all. You're doing a wonderful job, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye!